Welcome back to this special live edition of Facing South Florida. I'm here with my colleague and friend Eliott Rodriguez, and we've been breaking down the results of a major new poll by CBS News here in Florida. That shows that Donald Trump with a 9-point lead over Joe Biden, but it also shows the constitutional amendment to protect a woman's right to have an abortion currently polling at 60%, and the marijuana amendment polling just short of the required 60% mark at 56%. All right, we've been talking about it with Anthony Salvanto. Now joining us is the chair of the Florida Democratic Party, Nikki Fried. Nikki, you've had a little time to look at the results. It would seem that while the abortion issue is doing well in Florida, it's not helping Joe Biden or other Democrats on the ballot.
Well, first of all, Jim, thanks for having me on this morning. You know, polls 6 months out are never a predictive of what is actually going to happen on the day of elections. But we as Democrats know we've got a lot of work to do. And I think what's happened, first of all, a majority of Floridians don't know that the 6-week abortion ban is on the books today. And so the second that we start hearing the more and more stories of just heartbreaking stories of what is going to happen here in Florida the next couple of months, we are going to be able to show, one, that 60% number is going to go way above that, but also reminding people Donald Trump did this. He stacked the court, and now he's bragging about it. And we put those two links together, that the only way that a woman's right to choose is going to be protected in the country is, one, putting it back into the Florida Constitution, but also making sure that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are reelected.
Nikki, I was at an event the other day and ran into a lady who I've known for years, and we just were casually discussing, we got elections coming up and abortions on the ballot, and she right away started telling me her personal story of what it was like before Roe v. Wade. And I felt like she wanted to get that story out because she feels like people really don't understand what it was like in those days. Are you seeing more and more of that?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually started a campaign with our seniors last week to tell those stories. You know, I talk to my grandmother and my mom all the time, the heartbreaking stories that I hear from them. I've been very public that my dad's mother had an abortion and had to go to Cuba and had scars for the rest of her life. These type of stories of a pre-Roe time is going to keep coming up, and our seniors, the ones who fought so hard for Roe v. Wade, are going to be back in the trenches telling the stories, but not only those stories, but the immediacy of what is happening here in the state of Florida. And so when you start getting all of these stories being told, the pre-Roe and the current status here in the state of Florida, and then who is to blame? It is Donald Trump, it is Ron DeSantis, and it's every Republican here in the state of Florida who voted for the 6-week abortion ban. And when this was polled back during the 2023 legislative session, 77% of Floridians thought this ban, 6 weeks, was too extreme. And as soon as more and more Floridians start hearing what's going on and more money is being spent on getting out the vote and taking this message to the voters, we're going to see a drastic impact on both the top of the ticket, but also, more importantly, the bottom of the ticket.
Here's the problem that you have right now based on the polling that we've seen today. The abortion issue is not sticking to Donald Trump. They do not blame Trump for the overturn of Roe versus Wade, though it's clear in the numbers here. They also believe that Donald Trump will leave things to the states. So they're fine with that. So Donald Trump and his campaign has done a very, very good and effective job of distancing himself from the Roe versus Wade decision and things like the 6-week abortion ban. And Democrats have failed to be able to really tie him to that. I don't see how you change that in the next few months.
You know, and you're right, Jim, you know, that right now people are blaming 6 weeks on Ron DeSantis, but we had to get here to be able to pass it, which means it is Donald Trump. And that's the work that we have to do. You know, the campaign for the ballot initiative hasn't started putting money on the ground. They haven't been talking to voters. We've got 6 months to change this narrative. It's going to take work. It's going to take money. It's going to take resources. But I do believe by the time people get their ballots in the mail, are going to early voting and day of, there will be no doubt who is responsible for the current moment that we are living in. It is the Republicans, it is Donald Trump, it is Ron DeSantis, and it's the Republican legislature.
I'm going to give you one other number when I dig deeper into the poll, and this number actually shocked me. Abortion may impact you or your family directly, right? That was the question. Only 5% of women answered that question yes. Majority say that it's more of about the principle. But I think that what that shows is that there has not been that connection yet where men or women, particularly women, feel that this issue is going to be affecting them personally.
Yeah, that's part of the messaging that we're going to have to do. And it's not just personally, the decision that me, myself, and I have to make. You know, it is more so just the democracy, the aspect of freedom, the taking away of a woman's right to choose that has been enshrined in our laws, you know, for 50 plus years. But it's also about making the connection that this has an economic impact. I talk to so many families that are my age, that their kids are juniors and seniors in high school, and now don't want to stay in a Florida school. And so now these middle-class families who have been doing their part to save up for their kids to go to in-state tuition are now having to make a decision.
Nikki, let me just jump in, because I should have read this earlier. We do have a statement from Evan Power, your counterpart of the Republican Party of Florida, to the poll. As we have seen previously, the most important issues facing Floridians are the economy, inflation, and immigration. All things Joe Biden and Democrats have failed to lead on. Democrats can keep making this election about the same failed manufactured issues they have used in the past to their own detriment. We are going to win Florida and win it big. I'll give you a chance to comment on that before we wrap up.
I laugh at every aspect of that. First of all, the fact that women are going to die is a manufactured issue shows how disconnected that the Republican Party is in the state of Florida. And when it comes to the economy, Joe Biden has reduced inflation. The prices of food are going down. We are seeing every single month overperforming on the jobs being produced. The Dow hit an all-time high of over 40,000 this year. The reason why Floridians right now haven't been feeling any of that is because Ron DeSantis and Republicans have refused to take money down, whether it's for the infrastructure money, for the Inflation Reduction Act, whether it's feeding.
Nikki, I'm up against a break. I apologize. We'll have you back. We'll talk more.
Nikki, thank you.
We'll be right back after the break.
All right.